I'm a few minutes late. Sorry about that. Trying to shuffle power. It just rained and rained and rained and rained a little bit more last night. So it's gray today. It's getting a little brighter. So there's hope here for us with our power for this. So that's good. That's why I'm sitting in a different location. I need to monitor our power. So that's what I'm doing today. But I am anxious to share with you a lot of things. Kicking off the new year, that's always we make it a challenge, right? Well, this year tends to be even more of a challenge than ever with everything going on in our world. But regardless if it's this year or last year, we still have the same tools to make good choices in our life and to enable us to have a positive and a good start despite whatever may be going on in our world. And I challenged our audience last night on just our regular live video. We've been documenting our journey here with building the cabin, so I've been doing the daily live. Good morning, Miss Toika. I hope you are feeling better today. I'm feeling a little grimy today. I don't know. I haven't slept well the last 2 days, and I think it shows. I think I got some big bags under my eyes. I'm quite tired today. But I've still wanted to jump on here because I have really good things to share. And I want to encourage you guys because as things are unfolding these last 2 days, it can add a lot of fear, worry, stress in the average man's life just because of the unknowns. Oh, you're kidding. You've got to get COVID tested? So you're not feeling well, I take it. So after your trips out into the world to the other doctors, now you have possibly gotten COVID. You don't need that, sister. We're going to pray it away. Everybody that joins in today, we will ask them to help us pray that away for you. And we'll continue to pray on that one. That's just terrible. How is your knee and your back? And if anybody joining has any praises or prayer requests, please do not hesitate to leave them in the comments. Oh, you shared that yesterday too. Good morning, Miss Shelley. Good morning, Miss Nicole. Woohoo! Carol's in the house. Good morning, Miss Carol. Miss Shelley says, good morning. We'll try to listen as much as possible during work. Okay. Love you, girl. Hope you're feeling better and got some good rest. Yeah, you said you had low blood pressure yesterday, so praying for you. I hope you have somebody to get you where you need to go, that you're not doing that by yourself, because that would not be good, driving with low blood pressure till you pass out. If I was closer. So how are you guys today? Lay it out there. How are you feeling? And Toika has just shared how she's doing this morning. You guys share with me. Also share with me, when you begin a new year, what are things that you think about? What are things that instantly are things you want to accomplish in a new year? And what are some of the things you struggle with at the beginning of a new year? Granted, like I said, this year is a totally different ball game, but we still have the same skills we would regardless what was going on. So we're going to talk about that. But Toika says, thank you. Oh, true. Hadn't thought of driving with low blood pressure. Yeah, that would scare me for you. So hopefully you have a friend or a loved one that can take you, because that wouldn't be good. Shelley says, feeling better, cold and allergies, probably more allergy. Okay, good. So Toika has somebody. Good. That makes me feel better for you. A lot of people are in a state of fear and worry Good morning, Miss Courtney. Oh, it's Kelly. I've been sick for 2 days, feeling better today. I've been praying for you, girl. Praying for you all. I hope Randy is doing better, and Ty, as well as Mike. So they all shared with you guys. So praying that everybody's starting to come around. That's terrible. It is definitely the season. This weather doesn't help. Our weather, we go from one extreme to the next. We have negative temps and really cold temps to balmy and nothing but rain. I mean, it just dumped last night and it's doing the same now. At least it's bright. That gives me power so I can keep doing this. Carol says, wow, sending love and hugs for all of you not feeling well. Yeah, this weather doesn't help, and everybody's coming from different climates. Shelley's basically living in a rainforest on an island, more or less. And just the weather this year, I don't know about you guys, but our weather has been really, really bizarre. Just not a normal winter here. We were rushing to get into the cabin because of snow and negative temps in October. And now we're in the 40s heading into the 50s with this weird weather. It's just very strange. But one of the main things I want to point out today is that we want to remember not to work out of a place of fear. Hey, Rob's in the house. In the kitchen with Rob has joined us. Carol says, -3 last night. They reckon it's going to get worse. Wow, that's just crazy, crazy. Yes, it's weird. The weather's definitely very weird. Kelly says, Randy is better, still in the hospital. Ty is better, driving to Arizona. All right, well, we will continue to pray, and we'll continue to pray that, God wraps his arms around Randy and gives him comfort while he's there by himself and alone. I just can't imagine that. That's one thing that's just so terrible right now with this COVID is that, you can't be in the hospital with your loved ones. Your exposure to them and communication with them is so very limited, and I can't imagine that. The mountain man would be absolutely livid if that was, if we had to experience that. So, yeah. So definitely sending huge prayers. And you said you're feeling better, Kelly. I hope you're feeling somewhat human. That has not been nice what's been getting passed around your house. So is Mike back to work? So we don't want to be working out of a place of fear. Fear is not a good place to be working out of. And we're going to talk about the tools that we have in our tool belt that enables us to keep us out of a place of fear and working out of a more powerful place. We need to be aware of our thinking, aware of our feelings, and that if we are in a negative or a fearful, worrisome place, we need to work our way out of that place immediately. Because the more you stay in that place, the easier it is for it to just get deeper and deeper, which we all know, right? Praying for Courtney then, that's terrible. Gosh. I imagine your washing machine is working overtime. Mike is working and feeling better today. All right, so that's a good praise. All right, and also that Randy is doing better because Randy was not in a good place. So, guys, if you could keep Miss Kelly and Courtney, Mike, Ty, and Randy in your prayers, I would greatly appreciate it. They've been having a very upside down week. I believe we've got a bunch of people also joining out there that, sorry, my finger's in the way, that, maybe new to our channel. So we want to encourage you to comment. This is a very loving community of faith-led individuals, and we enjoy communicating with everybody that's present. So don't feel, like you have to stay in the background. Even if you're watching the replay, chime in, share. We'd love to hear from you. We've been meeting a lot of new people this year from all over the world. Miss Carol's from the UK. We had a fellow from the UK comment last night, and a young lady. Wow, what a inspirational comment she left, just at how she's been touched by our community as a whole. So I'm very excited about that. And Herbert's been joining us from New Mexico. We have Caleb from Florida. I imagine you are, Kelly. Carol says, pop in and say hi, guys. We don't bite. Absolutely not. And, now more than ever, this year more than ever, I feel that we need to support one another and have a community that is welcoming and supporting. And we certainly have that. So I just want to, that's why I wanted to just say that today to draw you guys in, because it's a lot of fun to communicate in here. But I challenged our community last night in the regular live to spend 1 to 5 minutes every morning with God, in prayer, reading the Bible, and do it every day. Because by doing that every day, you're going to create a habit. And not only are you going to create a habit, you're going to be drawn in, because when you take 1 to 5 minutes every day and spend it with God, you're going to want to start doing it more and more and more, because you're going to see the benefits, and you are going to feel the closeness of the relationship, which is what we are called to have, is a relationship with Christ. It's communicating with him and communing with him, just like we're doing right now. I talk to God just like I talk to you guys. And I want to encourage you. That is my challenge. And I want to know how many of you are in. Give me the thumbs up. Give me in the comments when you're watching the replay that you're in on this challenge. 1 to 5 minutes a day. And I suggest in the morning, but whenever it fits your schedule. I know that when I start my day off with God, my day is amazing. It is inspired. It is empowered. It is productive. And, my 1 to 5 minutes often ends up being a half an hour to 3 hours sometimes, depending what's going on and what God wants to share with me. Many of our greatest decisions and inspirations have come out of those times. So I want to encourage you to create that habit. There's great power in that habit. And this, my friends, is how you start building faith and trust muscles. Through this time, through those 1 to 5 minutes, and I encourage you to expand it. I think you will automatically anyway. But I want to encourage you to do this, because it's going to build your faith and trust muscles. And I have to believe that, just from my own experience in years past, that is one of the most difficult things to do, is build our faith and trust muscles, because we give things to God, but we aren't willing to trust him to take care of it, so we try to take it back. And right now, there's going to be a lot of things going on around us that we need to be aware of, and we need to not allow them to pull us into a negative place. And by spending that time with God, you will help divert the enemy as well, and stay out of that negative place. So please make that a new habit this year. And how many of you are going to join me? Carol's in. All right. And Nicole's in. We read the Bible every day and pray daily several times a day. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Kelly. It's so funny. I find myself talking to God all day long. That I think that may be part, this just popped in my head, but I think that might be part why I love my homesteading chores, washing the dishes. If I'm not talking to you guys like I did last night, I have to make bread later. Those quiet moments where I have that time to really reflect and communicate with him. And it does become an addiction. It becomes one of the most positive addictions you could ever ask for, right, Kelly? You just get drawn in. And I know many of you spend time in the Word and communing with God, but I want to put the challenge out there as a global thing for our community. We need to be empowered by that. We need to build our faith and trust muscles. We need to have that relationship. That is what is going to pull us through the hard times. So that is number one on our tool belt, is time with God, reading the Word. It is the oldest book out there, and it has the best guidelines you could ask for. I totally get that. I totally get that. Kelly says when milking is my prayer time. I totally get that. And I can just imagine, that's just so relaxing. I used to milk the goats, and so I totally get that. Share, the rest of you, share some of your favorite times in prayer. I typically walk every day, and yesterday, this was kind of funny. I shared this yesterday. I walked a loop about a quarter mile out from the house yesterday so that I was still in Wi-Fi range, and the mountain boy joined me on FaceTime and we walked together. That's something he and I always did here, was walked every day, and I typically was walking 3 to 5 miles a day as a minimum. So I missed being able to go out and do that with him, so that was fun. So, getting out and spending time in God's country and in that alone, quiet time in the wilderness for me is just utopia. Carol says, I haven't got a woods, but I have got a friend's horse field with a couple of trees. Isn't it so awesome? Do you go and just sit under the trees and just take it all in? That's just so awesome. And then being able to watch horses, if there's horses in the field, that's just amazing. Yeah. She says, Toika, I love it, but we're on lockdown at the minute. Okay, so here we go, Carol. This is kind of part of what I was going to talk about today, but in a different nature. I was going to suggest that to start our year off right, to take your favorite room where you enjoy being and declutter the surfaces. Because when you declutter the surfaces, now you guys have seen how much we're shuffling here, even still. And I'll show you this. This is hard for me to look at, but these are my supplements and all my herbals and all my raw herbals. There they are. They're visible. I want to get and put some fabric underneath the bed there so that like a sham underneath the actual bed. So those aren't visible, because to me that's clutter. And it does bug me, but I can't do anything about it right now. But as we progress, I will. So what I'm saying is, in your favorite room where you have surfaces that have a lot of things on that are driving you crazy, because believe it or not, that stuff is noise, and it does weigh on us. So Carol, what I was going to suggest to you is find a space in your home that you really treasure and just add things that give you comfort, and make yourself a little space that you can go to for relaxation and spending time with God, since you are cooped up as you are. There we go. So that is my suggestion, is to find places of comfort and spend time with God. But also in the decluttering aspect of things, that's usually what people put on their New Year's resolutions. I told you guys I don't do resolutions. I do new habits. So that is something that I do even with the clutter downstairs till I get cabinets and things, is I am actually, sorry, I've got limited space here. I actually am constantly taking time to declutter those surfaces so that I don't have to worry about that noise in my life. And being in the small space, when we have things that need to go from here to maybe the containers or the bathhouse or whatever, I am making that time to daily get those things out of my way. So being in lockdown, you can't go out into your field, but you can create a space in your home that gives you great comfort. Here above me on these trunks, I have, let's see if I can show you. I have my lantern, and I have my other lanterns and my tea lights that I fire up and get going, and they are just wonderful and very relaxing to me to have my candles going, to have just my favorite things in my space. So if I'm here and I'm spending time with God, I'm surrounded by things that give me joy. It's a relaxing, comforting place. But keep in mind, on our phones, I've got the Bible app. I can spend time with God anywhere. So that is a beautiful thing. So, if you're out and about, you're at a doctor's appointment, you're in school, wherever you are, you can pause and spend time with God if the need arises or the desire arises. Okay. Kelly says, thank you all for the prayers. Carol says, I miss mine. I know you're talking about your horse, and I'm sure you do. We had a horse for a while too here, and they're just such neat creatures. I miss having a horse around as well. That smell. I love the smell of a horse. Nicole says, I have 5 kids, so I love to get up hours before and spend time with Father. It's my favorite. He's always speaking. Very much so. Very much so. And that's a key thing. We've got to work around our situations, our families, our schedules, our current circumstances, and find what works for us. What works for me is not going to work for all of you. And I know Tammy Richards, with a large family as well, it can be really tricky to find the time. So getting that time and making that time, and that's the key thing, is making the time, because you will not be disappointed when you make that kind of time. Toyka says, Carol, Horsefield or horse? Carol says, I used to have horses, but due to being ill, I couldn't keep them. So I go to see my friends' horses. I love to be around them. They're very nurturing. And animals in general are really good when you're healing. Animals know, and animals try to heal, no matter what kind of animal it is. It's amazing. They're just so in tune. Toyka says, used to be a joke in my house that I bought an organizing book and then misplaced the book. That is funny. That is funny. And not everybody has that superpower. My room growing up was hideous. It was very disorganized. It was a cluttered mess. I had a lot of really bad allergies when I was young, so anytime I would dust, I would die. So my room was always a mess, but I do have and have nurtured a inner superpower I didn't know I had, and that is organization. So it can come. It can be unsurfaced, or no, that's not the word I want to use. It can come to the surface. My brain's not working right. Carol says, I love candles and crystals. Yes, exactly. And I have I don't know if you can see it, my Himalayan salt lamp up there too. It doesn't pull a lot of power, so I can have that going as well, which is so nice. So yeah, you create your environment that gives you peace and comfort, and you take time in it. Kelly says, our goal was to have a place not to need a vacation from. It's our relaxing place. Amen. Amen. And that's what I'm trying to create here too. And that's not just inside, but outside too. We have such great plans to do nice things here. And like you guys have seen my fire area, and that it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. You guys are responding to Toyka's comment. Good morning, Carol and Fulton. Where are you joining from? And Unleashed, I know that's a book. Was that Lisa Tierkirst that wrote that one? I believe that's what you're referring to. So share more. And welcome, welcome, welcome. A superpower. Cool. Yes, I got a couple of those. We all have superpowers. We just have to tap into them and realize what they are. My technology side is a superpower, and my organizational side is my superpower. And I'm very grateful for that, because being organized is a great feeling. It alleviates a lot of stress and pressure. We don't realize how much clutter really weighs on people and really affects people until you actually have gotten it out of the way and you've started to work on that. And having a small organized space is just so nice for me. Carolyn says, no, I think that was the word you were, oh, thank you. Yes, exactly. It is. And there is a book called Unleashed, though. I've seen it, but that's really, really funny. And yes, thank you. And you'll find as you're joining in here that occasionally I need those added words because the brain short circuits. So yes, your superpowers become unleashed. And thank you. And she's from South Carolina. Awesome. Happy to have you and welcome. You will find that we have a very welcoming community here and would love to have you continue joining us. This is a lot of fun. So what kind of things do you guys have in place to give you peace besides spending time with God? And do you guys spend time with God in the morning Or do you have a designated time? I know that Nicole said she gets up early. Kelly does it when she's milking the cow, so that is awesome and definitely a morning chore. She gets brain frazzled, so we prompt her every now and again. Exactly. No, it's a brain fart. Oh my goodness, it's so crazy. If you guys would have seen me 4 years ago, though, you would have had to like completely have the conversation with yourself because I couldn't even communicate. It was terrible, but praising God that I got my brain back. And it is kind of crazy when you're live because you're reading all the different comments. You've got thoughts going through your brain that you want to share. You've got a little prompter here, and all of a sudden it all just goes poof. So it is a little tricky being live, but I appreciate you guys tapping in and helping me because on occasion it is, as Carol said, necessary. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but we have a new word for the year. Last year, our hashtag and our words were faithfully forward. And we are going to continue using that because we are going to need to be moving faithfully forward. We cannot be stagnant. We cannot be stuck. We cannot become complacent, guys. We got to keep moving forward. Now, the other thing that we're adding in this year's new word is relentlessly faithful. And we need to be that too because we need to be seeking Him daily, creating that habit and building our faith and trust muscles because that is what is going to help us grow this year. It's going to help strengthen us this year. And trust me, I really feel we're going to need that. So, and we're going to do it together. Carol, Toika gave Carol a funny face, and Toika says, yeah, you are a huge blessing, Tammy. We are women. We can multitask. Don't let us down, lol. Yes, but I always thought that my best superpower was multitasking. I was very wrong. I was also very wrong when I thought I was Superwoman, because I wasn't. None of us are, although we try. And it's not bad to be productive and to aggressive isn't the word I'm looking for, but you guys will start sharing. But it's okay to have the desire and the will to be good at what you do and to do it well. But we've got to remember that we are not supermen and women. And honestly, in all seriousness, I multitasked my whole life. And while we've been on this homestead, I was priding myself of being this multitasking queen. And when I got sick, I realized that when I broke things down and rather than multitasking like a fool, slowed things down and did one thing at a time, I was much more productive. I was much more successful, and I had much greater peace. So that's going to be something we'll be talking about later, is the multitasking and learning to say no, because they kind of go together because we don't know when to slow ourselves down. Let me see here. We've got some stuff going on here. Whoa. Mornings and devotionals at night is what Kelly says. And Toika says, nice, Kelly. And Carol says, oh, well, I put my cape and tights away then. That's me crushed. I didn't say you couldn't wear your costume. Hello, Kayla. I see she's on here. Thank you for getting on here and speaking the truth. I'm sure it blesses all of us. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And just so you know, next Friday, 1 o'clock, I'm going to do our Kids Corner reading. You'll need to sign up for it because it's going to be a Zoom, and it will be part of our academy rather than YouTube, so there won't be trolls. So I will let you guys know when the link is available this week, so that you guys can be sure to join. I'll put a link in the community page and a notice in the community page, as well as mentioning it on my upcoming videos, because I want we've had so many cool kids joining in. I love it. Kyman was on last night. He's 10 and was praising because he got his elk. They're from New Mexico. And we have Kayla and Tammy has her grandsons that join in and her kids that join in periodically. So it's really awesome. I'm excited to not only have a community of faith-led adults, but we've got a lot of kids that are in on this, and it's awesome. It's so awesome. Okay, so that's 5 a.m. here. Really? At this point, Carol, why sleep? The other day you were on at what, 1:30 in the morning? Carol's from the UK, so our times are very off. Well, you can watch the replay on that, sister, because it'll just be me reading a story. Of course, if you need to go back to sleep, I could read you back to sleep. Okay. Exactly, right, Toika? She says, Carol, pull out your costume. And trust me, we are all super women and men anyway, with all that we do and our God-given superpowers. So we just don't need to multitask like fools. We need to learn to slow the pace, enjoy life, know where to keep our focus, and build our faith and trust muscles. So that's my thoughts. Carol says, I know, right? I'm a night owl, but give me a chance here, guys. Right? Right. I know. Well, I am making it. I'm trying to give us all kinds of flexible hours so that we can catch everybody. And Carol likes to be on at all hours. So Carol's going to be like here with toothpicks in her eyes. I love it. Okay, so I have a question. How many of you keep a journal? Carol says, I'm going to need it. I only do about 5 to 6 hours a night anyway, but hey, what's a few hours between friends? You're so funny. Oh, and I was just looking at my notes. Carol asked something. I'm locked down. It's nice to chat. I imagine it is. That's what this is all about. And I've really enjoyed our communications and fellowshipping as well. That's why I am keeping it going on this daily basis and weekly basis, because there is a need. There is truly a need. Let me see here. Toika just said, I found that when I was taking care of my mom, I was focused and spoke to God a lot. There are times in our lives where we walk through things and we really find ourselves pulling in. I slowed down is what I was trying to say. Exactly. You were in the quiet. You were totally absorbed in that situation. And you know, when we were building, we were in a crazy, crazy time, you know, really pushing to get under roof. But I wasn't attached, other than attached when I did my daily live video with you guys. And, you know, we don't realize how much this stuff here pulls us away from that ability to slow down. Because when we have a machine in our hands, it keeps us pulling and driving. And when we're multitasking like fools, we don't give ourselves the ability to slow down. We also feel guilty for slowing down. So when we do learn to find that balance and we find a slow period or create, that's the key thing, is creating that slow moment and that slow time in your life that you can reflect, can spend time, and can hear his still small voice. There's great power in that, and it's awesome to me. Our pastor at the church that we listen to really put it into perspective when he said that there's really only one superhero in this world, and that is God. And he said, think about it. Where did Marvel get all the ideas for their superheroes and the powers they have? Because God was the one that created all of those superpowers initially. So it's kind of a neat analogy and put things into perspective. And when you're able to hear his still small voice, to me, that is like the greatest thing in the world. Uh-oh, you guys are doing it again. Carol says, Toika, are you getting brain frazzled? I don't think so, Carol. This is me. Kayla and I keep a journal. Great way to look back and remember truth when you're losing hope. Very true. And also to acknowledge some pretty powerful praises that happened in your life that you may have forgotten about. I love my journal. I started this habit going on 3 years ago. And I'm so grateful because when we were packing to move, I found journal upon journal upon journal, probably 30 journals that had maybe the first couple pages. Maybe I made it 2, maybe 3 months in journaling, but not every page was filled. And I'd always quit. So I have these half-started journals, and I don't do that anymore. And I'm really thankful that I'm able to keep this going and that I've made it a point, and I was determined to make it a point to keep this going, because this is a powerful habit to back up the first habit I told you to create, and that's you're spending time with God in the morning. While you're spending time with God in the morning, it's really key to journal, to write down your prayers, to write down the things God gives you and shares with you in that time. To maybe write down a Bible verse that you read that morning so that you can meditate on it and look back on it. But more than anything, to write down what you're grateful for and be reminded of the things that you're grateful for, because even in a crazy, chaotic time, there's always something to be thankful for. And when you focus on that, you also change your world from a negative place or a neutral place to a very positive place. So by journaling, that is huge. And I definitely want to encourage that. I would make the two a habit hand in hand. I don't know if I have a journal link down below or not. I kind of don't think so. But if you go to TrayerWilderness.com/journal, I think you will find the one I am using. Carol, I owe you some links. And I was going to share this, and then I went off on something else. But there are links down below that I use for keeping track of things so that I don't have to multitask anymore, nor do I need to waste time looking things up. I use Evernote, and that is down below, TrayerWilderness.com/Evernote. If you are a list maker and you end up losing your little pieces of paper, but you always have your phone on you, I would use Workflowy. These are free apps, by the way, and they are fabulous. They all have a paid version. If you use them excessively like I do pay, but it's very minimal for a year. But these are great ways to keep yourself on task. And that's part of this, is also in being organized, that you can create the time to do this and that you are guarding that time to spend time with God and do your journaling. Requires us to look at our lives and our schedules some. And I highly encourage that being something that you guys do. I can see Toyka and Carol having a field day. I'll have to look in a second. But Workflowy is a really awesome checklist and list making app, and it's fabulous. I use it for our grocery lists. I use it for our daily list of things we need to do so we can cross things off and make sure we don't forget things when we're working together. I use it for myself individually, and then I also use my date book. So that's TrayerWilderness.com/Workflowy. Noseby is a great app for a calendar app if you're looking to use a digital calendar. I used that for years. I had gone all digital, gotten rid of all the paper stuff. But last year I started using my calendar again, and I'm really grateful I have. I got to a point where I just needed to see things in writing. I mean, this is what my days look like. It's just crazy. All kinds of little tasks, all kinds of little notes, and just being able to see these things and looking. But I also really use my iPad and my iPhone to keep it all flowing. So you're going to have to find what works for you guys. But I highly encourage you guys to really focus on getting yourself organized. Your schedule, your mind, because once your schedule and you're keeping things organized, your mind's clearer and you're able to retain things better and you're able to create new habits because you're not so cluttered. So those are all down below. The monthly, weekly planner is in there as well. Now this is what I was getting to for Carol. My study Bible is listed down below. And Carol asked me about Bible recommendations for children. Austin was gifted a children's King James Version Bible when we first moved out here 11 years ago. And we ended up in a tent with a month of rain. So he read cover to cover, and I think he did it twice. And absolutely loved it and really gleaned a lot from it. So Austin's Bible link is down below. It's trayerwilderness.com/Austin's Bible. And then there's also another children's Bible that is in a, I think this is the NIV version. And I recommend that if you want to get, avoid the these and the thous of the King James Version. But it's trayerwilderness.com/children's Bible. So those are down below. And I'm going to get on the comments in a second. I'll share two more things here. For good inspirational content, as far as movies go, I would highly recommend PureFlix. And you can find that by going to trayerwilderness.com/PureFlix. It's PureFlix. And that is all Christian programming. So there's lots of stuff for the kids. And there is also great faith-led movies for the adults. Now, a movie that I would highly recommend you guys all watch. Bunyan wrote The Pilgrim's Progress, and many of you are familiar with that. I think it's Revelation Media created this video, and it's a really awesome video based on The Pilgrim's Progress, the book. And you can find that by going to trayerwilderness.com/The Pilgrim's Progress. All these links are down below. I wanted to share those. I think Carol is asking me who, so I will share that, and I'm going to get into the comments. It's John Bunyan. If you let me see what all's going on here, and then I'll jump on. Okay, so Carol says, I get down and can get depressed on and off. I like to use wit and jokes and laughter to make people smile or laugh. It makes me feel great. It does. And you know what? Laughter is tremendously good for the soul. It is also tremendously good for healing, and I'm sure you know that. And that's part why you, my dear, have also healed as well as you have. And you know what? We all get down, and we all get in those places where probably a little bit of depression sets in. We also get in that place where we can't reach our bootstraps, and without the help of others praying us up, sometimes we don't feel like we can do it on our own. And that's what this community is about. So that's why when you feel you need prayer, if you don't want to share what you need prayer for, but you just need prayer, just say you need unspoken prayers and we will pray for you. But there's nothing to be ashamed of being sad, fearful, worrisome, depressed. We all have walked out different things in life. We all have experienced different things. Some of us don't have, constant people around us. And like Carol, she's in lockdown. So it's like we need that community. We need that fellowship. We need that relationship. We are made to live with relationship. That's what God wants from us. That's why God created Eve for Adam. We need people in our lives. So it's just common, and we need to all realize that, but also realize that we can support one another, and not only pray for each other, but be able to help one another when we're in those spots. Carol says, knowing I've made someone's day by them smiling or chuckling. You guys are so funny. Toyka says, Carol, we share that. Yes, you guys do. I love, you know what? That's what this is all about, is sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly, and being able to lift one another and help one another and be here and laugh. There's just so much other stuff going on in our world. There is a great deal of healing and goodness that comes from funny and laughing. It's so funny watching you try to be serious. I've even had mountain man. Yes, you have. That is a feat, trust me, girl, to have the mountain man smiling and laughing. Toyka says, Carol, you're going to get us in trouble distracting the others. Is there a virtual corner to sit in? You guys are funny. Yep, I'm in it. It's nice here. Yes, finally I made an Amazon account to order his book. Okay, I'm trying to catch up here. Okay, so Toyka's saying the video of the Pilgrim's Progress is an awesome video. Okay, Shelly says, having these live, you are helping those who are in lockdown not feel so isolated. Well, awesome. And I can't tell you guys how led I am feeling to both do the Bible study and also to do these daily. And I need you guys to pray me up because I am truly an introvert. I know that's hard to believe, but I am. I am an introvert. So doing these things daily, if they're really long, can be kind of draining for me. But I feel really led to be doing this. And that's why I shuffled this to Thursday, because my Bible study's Tuesday. And I was finding that doing 2-hour-long things or more back to back was tough on me. And then what's funny is I had to Zoom with a client last night, which actually went for almost 2 hours. So I think that's why I was so like blah this morning when I got on here, because it's tough for an introvert. Plus I am an empath, so I feel other people's struggles myself deeply. So I am asking God to help me to be able to work through this so that I can still be I gotta move my legs, to be able to do this and be a light to others through this time. So I just need him to keep my cup full, and so that I'm not working out of my saucer also. I could use your prayers on that, because I love doing this. I'm seeing the need. I'm seeing what's happening through it. I'm seeing the community building up, and I'm seeing everybody feeding off of the fellowship. And that's what this is about. That's what we need in our communities. I bet it does, Carol. Carol says, amen, Shelley. It gets lonely. Well, and I actually look for you to join us. Last night when I went live, it was, I don't remember, 4 or 5 o'clock. And I was like, oh, I bet it's late for Carol, because we were looking for you. So, oh, and Toyka covered for you last night, because the mountain man came in and grunted just in case you came on. And Toyka said, oh, what? The rest of us don't get the grunts, just Carol? Okay, so Toyka says, so true, Shelley. Well, I'm really glad to hear that, and I give God all the glory. I am being nudged here, and I truly do love what I am doing. I also truly feel that I am walking out what I am called to be doing, which is an awesome feeling. But I give God the glory because I am truly nudged in what I share. I am nudged in when and what time to go live. So it's like I know he has me reaching the right people when they need to be reached. It's really crazy. It's really awesome, though. Uh-oh. Tammy, really serious? You are so perfect. Are you saying because of me being tired this morning? I am by no stretch perfect. And trust me, disheveled and brain farts are like a common denominator in my day. But I'm glad I make it look good. Carol says, I used to be a bargain. No way am I going to be quiet, law. Barmaid, not bargain. What's up with your phone? Or with this phone? Now that's funny stuff. You guys are a riot today. Know that Tammy is just the right person for this. Always so positive. Oh, I give God the glory on that too. My mother used to get so mad at me and tell me I was wearing pink shady glasses and that I didn't see the world in the right way. I think I see it in the right way. My days are happy. I'm not getting drawn into the nastiness just because everybody else does. My little world is pleasant. And I thank you, Shelley. Oh, I am. Honest, I am. I am. The mountain man and I cannot, God matched us up so well because I cannot, neither one of us can stand being in crowds. And then we have Austin, who was the same way, very overstimulated with autism when he was young. We get here, and next thing you know, he wants to go visit all the crowds. So we would go do stuff, and it's like Mountain Man and I were just like totally frazzled. We can't stand when there's a lot of people surrounding us, when there's a lot of conversation going on around us. It's hard to stay focused on one, and it's just overwhelming. And then the mountain boy says one day, we go to town, and he's like, I totally get it now. We've been here too long. It's time to go home. And we were only there like 10 minutes. So we all have that mindset. And we do, like, if we have a big gathering, we actually need a day before we could like get into big conversation with another group of people. We just need that pause. So yes, we are. I forget what they call it now. There's a word for it, and it won't come to me right now. But I'm an introverted extrovert. So I am outgoing and I love life, but I am introverted. So it's just crazy. But yes, I am. When you're trying to get yourself heard over the Duke of and 20 odd drunk fishermen, I'm loud. Oh, Duke Box. I totally get you. Oh, that's funny. I'm sure. And I can see you making people laugh, and I can picture that. I can totally picture that. Carol says, now listen here, Toika. It's been a long day, and my fingers are fat. Predicted text is doing my head in, but grandson not here to turn it off. That's so funny. Yes. That stuff can get you in trouble. My phone always changes my words, and it is usually things that I would absolutely never say that it changes it to. So I'm going to jump back here to some of the things I wanted to share so I don't forget, because some of them are important. So definitely check out the links down below, because there's a lot down there. And one of the things that came over my radar this week, which is really quite awesome. And I'm not implying anything by this. I will actually be 51 in like 3 days or something like that. So this is fitting for me as well. But we were listening to Moody Radio, and they had this doctor on, and he was talking about his book. And I figured you guys would also enjoy this. And it's only $1.99 right now. So TrayerWilderness.com/fitover50. The doctor is a small town doctor, and he has shared some really great information. One of the things that really triggered me on this book was when he was talking about dementia. Dementia is one of those illnesses that we cannot cure. There's no cure for it. However, you can prevent it by doing things throughout your life. And even at 50, he said you can start putting things in place that will help strengthen and avoid it. And he also said that, they've done all these studies and that a lot of times people are instantly feeling they're doomed because it's genetic and it's in the genes on a lot of these illnesses. But he says they're starting to prove that theory wrong, that it's not the case, because people are starting to live a little healthier in that. And what's unique about this book is that he, everything that he suggests is natural supplements and herbs. So he has the ailments listed along with the herbs that go along with them. I got it, but I didn't get a chance to look at it yet. But he also mentioned about brain health. And I've been doing a lot of studies on that because, as I said earlier, and this is very serious, in 2015, I started losing my memory really bad. My vision was going. I had all kinds of problems. 2016, I had life-saving surgery. And at that point, I stopped going to church. I couldn't hold conversations. It was terrible. Somebody would ask me a question, and by the time I'd open my mouth to answer them, I'd forget what they asked me. It was so embarrassing and just so, I was saying about being an introvert. That level in my life was more difficult than anything I'd ever experienced, because it was like trauma trying to hold a conversation and remember things. That's why I started using Evernote. Well, I started getting involved in brain research and realizing that a lot of what I was taking for my detoxing and my healing was to rebuild my brain and detox my brain. I had heavy metals, I had parasites, I had biotoxins and mycotoxins, and all of that was messing with my brain. And what happened. So as I started detoxing all that stuff from my body and re-strengthening my brain, I learned that I could also retrain it. And I did a retraining, and it was absolutely beyond amazing. I will be talking more about that upcoming, because I'm doing a mini series videos on my journey of my health and my healing to help people that are behind me, because I feel God used me as a vessel. But in the book, he talks about the brain health and the different herbs that can be used and the different things you can do. And we have great abilities with our body. God blessed us with a body that heals itself and gave us the power over our bodies to help it heal. We also have to remember that the enemy plays a role in inflicting sickness, illness, and issues in our body. So we can tell him to get lost and our illnesses go away in a lot of cases. Not everybody will believe that, but I've witnessed it. So I'm a believer. But the book talks about the brain health and that. And I feel that this is a really good book, not just for those of us over 50, but anybody. Because if you can start putting these practices in place and utilizing healthier measures in your life at 15, 20, 30, imagine what you will look like and feel like at 50. So, Kayla, you might want to have your mom get this book and you learn along with her, because there is so much I've learned over 40 that I want the younger generation to learn, so that they can have more successful and better, smoother lives at an earlier age than I did. So, oh yes, sister, I'm going to be 51. Yes. Now, I looked a lot more haggard and ragged around the edges 6 years ago. But I'm determined to get my health back. So I've been really working hard at it. But yes, I am. Okay. Hang on here. Is it fit to drop? Because hang on my back up, sister. What? No chocolate or cakes? Nope. No chocolate or cakes. Toika says that sounds interesting. Wow, that's cool. And yes, like I said, I'll be 51. You were really beat up from the inside, Tammy. Yeah, I really was. Honestly, I was dying from the inside out. That is one crazy, crazy illness. And I'm very grateful that God saved me from that and has enabled me to continue to heal and led me to inspire others and educate others on it. But through this whole thing too, my faith has grown so tremendously. He was so present in my life. And like you said, Toika, earlier, when you were taking care of your mom, I was flat on my back. I was flat on my back for over a year, and I was very limited. I could walk. Walking was great. When I stopped walking, I was debilitated. I couldn't do anything. And holding conversations, and oh man, if you look back at some of my videos when I first started this 3 years ago, it was very difficult. For one, I did not like live video. I like being able to edit my mistakes, but I am what I am. I am who I am, and I've grown good with that. But I was very overwhelmed when I was live, and I'd actually flare while I was live because of the overwhelm of trying to remember everything when I first started doing these. So it's pretty awesome what God can do. And that's just it. God has used each of you in some way too. We all have a story, so we need to remember that. Carol says, "That's it. I'm moving to the bathhouse. Ask Mountain Man to put me up a shelf, please. I might be able to go back in years out there." Yep, I told you. Come on, it's here. We'll put a big foam mat in that bathtub, and you'll have a really cozy bed. But look at where you are now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm praising God. I mean, God has nudged me and led me to the right people, to the right supplements, to the right books, to the right websites, to the right people. I mean, it has just been incredible, an incredible journey. And I can see every time I learn something new that God's hand is in that, nudging me on to the next level of my healing. It's been really, really amazing. Really amazing. This is the kind of stuff I love. I mean, God is the first superhero, and it's really awesome to see him at work. God has really worked a miracle in you. Very much so. Very, very much so. And he can do the same for you guys as well. The power of prayer and the power of faith and trust mixed with our prayers is a very powerful thing. You know, when we go to God and we pray to him and we truly have faith and trust and believe that what we are praying, he will make happen. Those are the prayers that get answered, guys. It's when we go to him wishy-washy and we kind of trust him, but we don't trust him and we're not sure, because we're working out of a place of fear and worry. So just remember that. Remember that there's great power in prayer and there is great power in faith and trust. I trusted him because I knew I was dying. I could feel my body shutting down. And my doctor did say to me, had I come there a week later, I wouldn't have been alive anymore. So it's pretty awesome stuff. Pretty awesome stuff. So don't neglect to realize that God has great power in your life too. And he is a healer and he wants us happy. And, sometimes I look at it this way too. God uses and it's very true. In our weakest times, God is strong. And God uses instances in our lives for us to be vessels and disciples for him, because in our weakest point, he shines through and is strong. And other people see that. So we need to remember that. And we need to, when we are going through tough times, although they're tough, realize that, how we handle them and our level of faith and trust in him and our relationship with him will shine through to others. And we need to realize that in our lowest places, we can be such a tremendous light. And God will use us in our lowest places, more so than he will use us when we're at the top. So it's pretty awesome stuff. I will be happy to be used as a vessel and as a guiding light to somebody else. Carol says, by the time you finished help saving me, you sure ain't gonna look that good. We love you for you. You're real and awesome. I'm just me. And like I said, I give God all the glory. I am where I am today because of him. So I thank you, though. I really appreciate you guys and your kind words. It means a lot to me. It helps me to keep doing what I'm doing, and also to know that what I am doing does have great purpose and that it is helping people. So, but I'm thankful for that more because of what it's doing for the kingdom. So pretty awesome. So down below, there's lots of links for creatingbalancedhealth.com is also a great thing that I would recommend you guys look into if you're wanting to get a handle on your health, get a good bird's eye view of where your health is. And also if you are having struggles that you cannot, get answers for, this is a great place to start. They're a great company. Austin and I use them and thoroughly I was just impressed by the results, because I knew going into my test what I did have going on for the most part. And I was right, and their results were dead on. So it was pretty awesome to see that. And you can go to creatingbalancedhealth.com and make sure you use coupon code Trayer Wilderness, and you'll get a discount on there, and they will take very good care of you. So if you're, in need of that, it's down below. And that Fit Over 50, like I said, $1.99, I think it's a good investment. I was really impressed by the doctor, his wisdom, and he's a faith-led doctor, so that even adds more to it, because when you mix healing and God together, it's a very powerful mixture. So thank you, Miss Carol. She says, we appreciate you sharing your time with us. Thank you. It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure, because we are supposed to be able to help one another through this life. And being that I don't ever leave my homestead, this is my way of doing it. So I want to read something to you guys. I thought this was pretty good. Matthew 21:22. Whatever things you ask in prayer, believing you will receive. You say, if God loves me and knows what I need, why should I have to ask him for it? It's a good question, right? Because he's all-knowing. I'm going to go on off on a little something here. My dear friend Rhonda shared something the other night. And I want to mention this too. I encouraged you guys to read the Bible a minute, or, to spend time with God. What those 1 to 5 minutes will do is build your faith and trust muscles incredibly. Now, God is all-knowing. God can hear our thoughts. God knows everything we've got going on. The enemy, in his smoke and mirrors, leads you to believe he can read your mind, but the enemy cannot. What the enemy does is he sits on your shoulder, or he's behind you, and he is whispering in your ear, nudging you in negative ways, and making you think that he knows what you're thinking. He doesn't know what you're thinking, but he's implanting thoughts into your mind that he knows most likely you will harbor and continue to focus on. So I say that because I want you guys to not only spend time with God. I've been telling you all last year to be diligent in paying attention to what you're saying to yourself, and what you're thinking, and what's holding your headspace. Because the enemy will do that. And when you realize that the enemy's just sitting on your shoulder or behind you, pinging at you, you have the ability to send him packing. And you can redirect your thoughts instantly. And that's what you need to do. So keep that in mind, okay? Now, back to this. I'll start again. Matthew 21:22. Whatever things you ask in prayer, believing you will receive. You say, if God loves me and knows what I need, why should I have to ask for it? Because prayer means talking to God and listening to God, which leads to building a relationship with him. Jesus said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. That's Matthew 6:33. When your prayers are based on your relationship with God, your needs get met. When you love God and spend time with him, his word says, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those who love him. But it was to us that God revealed these things by the Spirit. That is 1 Corinthians 2:9-10. So did you get that? God has a level of blessing in mind for you that your natural eye can't see, nor your natural mind can comprehend. And when you pray, he reveals things to you by his Spirit. When that happens, your faith grows and you're able to receive what God wants you to have. So develop a lifestyle of prayer. Praying all the time. Everywhere you go, in the midst of your daily routine. Milking cows, washing dishes, in the field, by the tree, watching the horses. Casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. That's 1 Peter 5:7. God cares about every detail of your life. So when you become anxious about something, talk to him about it. And don't forget to read his word. That way when a problem comes up, you can say, Father, you said in your word you would do this for me. Then quote the promise and stand on it. Develop a lifestyle of prayer. So that's why today I've encouraged you guys to create that new habit. Because, so many people create New Year's resolutions, and they get so discouraged a couple weeks into it because, for one, they've got this huge list of things they want to change for the year, and they try to change them all at one time. The other thing is, in order to really be devoted to something, it needs to become a habit, and you need to focus on it daily and make that a habit. I mean, what was I, 47, 46, 47 when I started doing this journaling? But it's now a habit. I tried all my life, but I never made it a habit. I never kept doing it with that devotion. And I was also trying to do a million other things at the same time. So we need to focus on that. Did you need me for something?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't.
Okay. So anyway, that is what I wanted to share with you guys today, because, even if all this stuff wasn't going on, it's like Carol said, you know, when you're alone, you do hit a place of being lonely. Loneliness allows the enemy to seep in, and then we end up in a place lower, and depression sets in. And, the enemy is in our times right now. He wants us confined to our homes. He wants us unable to have fellowship and community with one another. And he's enjoying what is happening right now. So like I said last night, we need to create a strategy, a prayer plan, and as a community stand tightly side by side, leaving no gaps for him to get in. And, I've shared with you guys many times, and I think I established this the other night in the Bible study. It amazes me that we don't really have any trolls joining in. Occasionally we'll get some kind of porn comments after I'm done with my videos. Typically they're on my Mountain Woman Radio videos for some reason. But we don't have the trolls coming in here. And I've been on other live videos with other people, and goodness, I'm so grateful. I mean, we have a small channel, which plays a role in that too. But I think it's because of the strength of our community and the fellowship that goes on here that the enemy is unable to get in. It's pretty awesome if you look at it that way. So let me see here. What do we have? Oh, you did miss him grunt. I don't know that he did it today. If he comes back in, I'll make sure he grunts for you, Carol. Yep. Carol says, totally agree. And that is awesome. It is, Toika. It's awesome. We have a community that's really powerful, and we can keep it that way. We need to continue doing what we're doing, and we need to have that kind of a plan for the year, that we are determined to hold each other accountable in seeking God, to be here to support one another, and to lift each other in prayer, and to continue to welcome new members and create good, healthy new habits. And I'm going to help you do that, because there's a lot of things we can do in our life to take control of our lives back. So often we let illnesses, people, situations, circumstances, our countries, in mayhem, to control the outcome of our days, and we need to take that back. So we're going to be relentlessly faithful, and we're going to continue to move faithfully forward, right? Yep. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to do it together. And I'm just so grateful for all of you. I do appreciate your kind words in such a great way. But God is at work here, and we're going to continue to move forward. I want to know, and if you can't think of anything now, I want you to ponder this and share it with me later. What are some areas in your life that you could use some inspiration, some guidance, some help, some support? I know Deb right now is working on her personal growth and her time with God, and also, building a business for herself. Tammy too is working on some things as far as building a business, and we all have different journeys that we're walking out. And when we can support one another in these ventures and help one another, it can be really amazing to see what comes of it. So when I know what your guys' needs are and what areas you guys could use some growth or inspiration, I love knowing that this is a solution for many of you in with loneliness and being down because of our times. And you guys worked some amazing miracles praying for Terry in June. He had an amazing ride home the other day. So our prayers are being answered. And when two or more join together and we pray, God is present. And it's not that he's not present when we're praying on our own, but when there is great power in community. There's great power in community because we can be fortified and hold the walls and keep the negativity and the despair and the loneliness out. We can keep the enemy out, and we can create a foundational platform of a solid rock to help everybody bloom. And it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome seeing what is transpiring here. And that all starts in prayer. Starts in prayer and relationship. So we'll start the year off with that. We're going to start off in prayer and relationship and journaling, and get those habits formed. So next week when you check in with me, I'm going to be sure to ask you how you're doing on that, because I hope you guys agree. It's something that we all need, and many of you gave me a thumbs up. Woo! I got tinglies going up my leg and in my rumpus. Sitting here on the floor. Okay. Kelly says, building my relationship with God and for a local community of believers. Awesome. Awesome. Ooh. Sorry, I've got like those major tingles traveling and my muscles are doing some funny things. And if I get a leg cramp, Carol will hear me literally in the UK. I get these leg cramps down the front of my thighs, and they're hard to get because it makes me go completely stiff and straight, and my arms are too short and stubby to reach my thigh to put pressure on it. So all I can do when it happens is howl. That would be terrible. I don't want to go there right now. But anyway, so share with me. Kelly just shared what she is looking to accomplish. So we are going to pray on that and help her there. And if you guys, like I said, think about it. Share with me how I can be a better light. Share with me the topics and the different things that would benefit you. God also knows that, so he nudges me accordingly when I'm ready to go live. And like I've said, God nudges me on the topics, and sometimes I get information like 2 minutes before I go live. So it's pretty awesome. And then one of you will say, gosh, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. So it's pretty wild. So I'm going to say a prayer here so you guys can get back to your day. And yeah, that would not be good. Toika said, oh my gosh, no leg cramps. Yeah, no leg cramps. The tinglies are going away. All right. So I'm going to say a prayer here. Papa, I just thank you for this day. I thank you for what you're doing here in our community. I thank you for all that you're doing in our world, in our authorities. You know what's going to happen. You have a plan. You're bigger than anything that could come our way. So we just thank you for what you're going to do. We trust you and have great faith in what you will do for us and how you will guide us through whatever transpires. And I just ask that you be present in everyone's life that's watching this, whether live, or the replay. And I just ask that you show us the way, give us wisdom and knowledge on a daily basis on what we need to do for ourselves and our families. And in that 1 to 5 minutes that they're going to start with, share with them the things they need to see and the things they need to know. And as they continue in that habit, I know that they will continue to spend more and more time with you. You draw us in, and rightfully so. Your word is so powerful, and your promises are so true and amazing. And I just thank you for what you're going to do for each and every one of us this year, how you're going to guide us, how you're going to improve our walks, how you're going to lead us down the right path. And I just thank you for everyone present, and I just ask that you be with Carol while she's in lockdown and by herself there, to just give her the courage and strength she needs. And thank you for her humor and always being present. And I ask that you be with Toika with her knees and her low blood pressure and her back, and also be there for she and Dan, and just help them into this new year, and just show your miraculous hand and your healing hand there in their lives, so that we can see also the miracles that you're working. Be with Terry and June, and just continue to help them in their walk and in their marriage, and strengthen Terry when loneliness sets in for him as well. And be with Kelly right now, and just give her strength and love on her as a caregiver with everyone being sick. And just be with Courtney today as she's ill. Be with Ty and Randy, and continue to keep Mike healthy. Be with Shelly and Jim, and just help them. Be with Tammy as she's traveling with her son today, and just help her. And be with Nicole and Kayla, and just help them. And be with Kelly also with her local community there, and just seeking you. Just give her wisdom and knowledge to know the directions to take. And I always tend to miss people, but God, you know their needs. And I just ask that when I am slack, that you pick up and just love on them and heal them and provide for all their needs. Be with Melissa, be with Pat Kenny, be with George, be with Mona and Ken. But Lord, just give us wisdom and knowledge, guidance and direction, and just help us to feel your love and your presence in our life this year. Help us to grow strong as a community, continuing to welcome more people, and that we can be a light in these disheveled times. And to just remember that regardless what's going on around us, you are bigger and greater and stronger than all those things. And we just love you and ask all this in your holy and precious name of Jesus. Amen. Okay. If I forgot you in my prayer, please, please forgive me. You guys are funny. Oh, you guys are funny. Carol and Twika are a riot today. Kelly, you're messing with my head today because I keep wanting to say Courtney. Blessings for the remainder of the week, everyone. Likewise for you, dear. Stay strong with all that you've got going on. We're loving on you and praying for you. And Toika says, I was waiting for you to move. You guys are hysterical. Carol says, love, hugs, and prayers for everyone that needs it. Thank you, my dear. And you guys have a fabulous week. I will see you next Thursday for this weekly live. We will be relentlessly faithful and moving faithfully forward all year. So thank you for joining me. I'm glad that this is a time that's helpful for you guys. Carolyn, glad to have you today. Thank you so much. She says, thanks for the live. I needed something today. Well, good. And just remember, there'll be days where you join us and you'll share something that someone else needs too. So that's what community is about. We're glad to have you and hope that you continue to join us. Carol says, I'm not used to sharing it. I get another stool for the next time. You guys are so funny. But guys, thanks so much. Have a really good rest of your week. I do offer daily videos on our progress here. The Mountain Man is working on my cabinet today. Yay. And we're going to get the shower house ready to be Carol's home when she moves over from the UK. And Carol, I would stay really good and healthy because I'd be dragging you out walking with me and you'd get really good and healthy. It's going to be the other way around. And Toika, take it easy. Be careful. We are praying for you. I'm not sure how far apart we are, but girl, if we could ever be of assistance in some way, please don't hesitate. Toika says, yes, Carolyn, please come back. Yeah, gotta love that, man. Don't forget my shelf, please. Absolutely. And there'll be a dresser in there for you, so you'll be all hooked up. You'll be all hooked up. Well, I'm going to go make the man some bread and work on our community page and our kids corner and get that live. And I will see you guys either later today on my daily live or tomorrow. But we'll see you next week. In the meantime, 1 to 5 minutes every day with God, and get yourself a journal. Even if it's $1 little notebook at the dollar store, start writing and start praising God for all he's doing. Wow, I got spoiled. Take care, guys. Yep, love you, Carol. Take care. Have a good day. Have a good day, Toika, and the rest of you. I love you all, and I wish you guys a fabulous rest of your day and week. God bless.